Alright guys and girls, this is Jerningam here, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, there's a first pill to test COVID-19 gets an approval. Will this pill help you get better over COVID-19? Is it a step in the right direction? Is it a step of blocking COVID-19 so you don't pass it on to somebody else? Then they don't get the disease. So when you have the jabs, you can still get the disease with COVID-19 and other times you can't. Some people do, some people don't. Depends on the person and the body that you've got. Other times it will pass on to somebody else, other times it won't. But let's see what this message actually says, if they cured the cure or what's going to happen. Or it could be in the future they could stop that from happening and block the COVID-19 from passing on to somebody else. Is this what's on here today, or is it something different? It could be something different, but it gives you a rough idea what could happen in the future. Let's watch what's happened.
Designed to treat COVID has been approved by the UK medicines regulator. The tablet will be given twice a day to vulnerable patients. It was recently diagnosed with the disease. Let's get more with our health correspondent, Catherine Costa. Health Secretary has described this as a game changer, and all the indications are that it will be.
Yeah, this is really good news, particularly for vulnerable groups, so the elderly and people with a weakened immune system who may not respond well to COVID vaccines. Now, before, we had treatments that were given in hospital to patients that were seriously ill. This is the first drug that can be given as a pill at home in the early stages of an infection. Clinical trials found that the tablet molnupiravir halved the risk of hospitalisation and death in at-risk patients. Now, patients will be given a tablet twice a day, and the treatment works by stopping the virus making copies of itself. So reducing the levels of the virus in the body reduces the severity of the disease.
Somebody described it as mutating itself to death, which I thought was quite a good description.
So today, the UK regulator, the MHRA, approved it, saying it's safe and effective, and it should be given as soon as possible after getting a positive COVID test or within 5 days of symptoms starting, and it will be given to people with mild to moderate COVID with at least one risk factor. So that could be obesity, heart disease, diabetes, and older age.
So I think we've ordered, what, 500,000 or more? When will they be dispensed?
Yeah, so the US drug company behind this thinks that it can produce about 10 million courses of this drug by the end of the year. As you say, the UK government has pre-ordered nearly 500,000 courses. We don't know how much it's paying for that. The US has ordered about 1.7 million and is paying about £500 per course. The UK government's in talks with the NHS to see how quickly it can roll it out to patients, and this will be done through a national study as soon as possible. We're not given exact details of the timescale yet, and there are still some questions about the logistics of how it will be made accessible. It is worth pointing out that this isn't an alternative to vaccination. People are still urged to get their vaccines, their boosters, their flu jabs. But this is hugely important because no vaccine is 100% effective. Some people can't have vaccines or don't respond well to them. So this is another weapon in the fight against COVID, and it's helping reduce those most at risk from serious illness, reducing hospital admissions, and therefore ultimately pressure on the NHS.
Okay, Catherine, thanks very much indeed.
Well, that's a good step in the right direction, guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, but in the future they will eventually block the disease by a tablet. Imagine that, eventually, or a needle. What I'm trying to say is eventually it will not spread. They'll have better technology in a couple of years, 10 years, 30 years. If the COVID-19 and COVID-19 is still here, then they'll have better technology and more understanding and awareness. Like I say, it's a good idea they're taking the tablets. People that are scared of needles and allergic to them, afraid of them, will have a tablet form instead. But you can still get the coronavirus. But anyway, thank you for joining me, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the future will change one day. See you next one. Peace.